What's up, beautiful people, and thank you for joining me for video number 2 on Under the Palm. My name is Deborah. I'm a mom of 4, and I decided to create this channel to share Christian conversation and my 20 plus years experience as a Christian. So if that kind of stuff interests you, please subscribe to the channel. So let's get into the video where we're going to be talking about 5 reasons why we are actually in the biblical end times, like the very end of the end. Let's get into it. So 5 reasons why I believe we are in the very last days before Jesus comes to take his people, to come for the rapture of the church. And if you don't know what that is, please see my first video. And after that, it is 7 years of what's called Jacob's trouble, the tribulation, Daniel's 70th week, however you want to word it. That is not going to be a good time. So that's what I believe is coming to this earth. And I'm going to talk personally why I feel like God showed me that we are in the end days, just personal life stuff. But for now, I'm just going to talk about generic 5 basic in-your-face reasons why I believe we are in the biblical end of the end times. So number 1 is digital ID and currency. So this concept is in Revelation 13, verse 16. It says, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So we see here that there is a system talked about 2,000 years ago, before electricity, that somehow they were going to know what's in your pouch of money that they had back then. They didn't have, bank accounts the same ways probably, but I mean, they did have bankers. It does mention bankers in the Bible, but somehow there is going to be a way for this mark on your hand or your forehead to allow you to buy things. How could that have happened 2,000 years ago? That would have made no sense to them. There is a lot of stuff going on where you can just pay with either some sort of RFID chip in your hand or facial recognition. So number 2, knowledge will increase. If you read in the book of Daniel, it says, but you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. So in the end, it says knowledge shall increase. Well, obviously right now we have the internet age. This is the time when anything you need to know, you can literally just look up at the drop of a dime. I mean, it's very convenient. I use it all the time to find anything I need. But it can be used for good or evil. So we're really just at the time where people have all the knowledge they need. In fact, way too much knowledge. And it's called information constipation, where you can just know way too much. So that's number 2. And number 3 is wickedness will increase. So we see here in 2 Timothy 3, 1-5, that it says, but know this, that in the last days, perilous times will come. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful. This list is, it's quite the list. Unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power, and from such people turn away. For this sort are those who creep into households and make captives of gullible women, loaded down with sins, led away by various lusts, always learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth. Now, it focused on women there, but I think you see that this list, it means everyone is going to be a selfie type nation. They're going to just love themselves. They're going to think of themselves and therefore be pretty brutal and unkind in general. Now, we still have good people, kind people on this earth, but we also still have the Holy Spirit here with us, within Christians. And we have a moral compass that's still around. I don't like to just say that everybody's that way, but you just see this massive increase of people they're very angry. I think people are really, really angry. They're loaded down with a whole lot of unhealthy, toxic things, and Also, their lives are going, they're not as peachy keen as they used to be, especially in the Western world. Things aren't like they were, say, in the 1950s. Now, in other countries and other continents around the world, things have always been very hard, but you're finding now worldwide things are just becoming really, really hard, and it's making people super grumpy. So number 5, a Jewish temple must stand in Israel, and Israel has to be a nation. So if you guys don't know, Israel wasn't a nation. They were dispersed around the whole world, and they came back to becoming a nation again in 1948. So prior to that, they were scattered all over the world, just like the Bible foretold. But when they came back to be a nation, which is almost unheard of, where you're just this dead nation and people, not only did they come back, their language got revived, their money got revived. Like, you've just never seen this, where a nation goes extinct and comes back. And it was predicted in the Bible. But this was needed to fulfill the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel. So let me read a verse here for you. It says, "Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, whoever reads, let him understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains." So somebody has to be living in Judea, which nobody was at the time. It was like a wasteland until they bought the land back in 1948. And if you don't know all the details about that, I'm going to be going into all of this in further videos, should the Lord tarry, to basically give you more understanding of why these things are important and what's going on here. Just the basics of biblical end times and how it relates to us now. So why I wanted to bring this up was in this verse that I'm reading, it says, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. So Daniel is really linked up with Revelation and many verses in the 4 Gospels. Basically, Daniel really is tied into the book of Revelation. So I won't get too detailed, but there will be a time when the Antichrist will have to come into the temple, into Judea, and do what's called the abomination of desolation. He's going to do an abominable act. This already happened kind of like in a type and shadow with Antiochus Epiphanes. He slaughtered a pig in the temple. This was a long time ago. And basically he desolated the temple. This is going to happen again in this 70th week of Daniel. And when you see him get in there, you know you better run if you're in Judea. So this is definitely speaking straight to the Jewish people at this point. What he's saying here is you need to run, because you're going to be in Judea. You're going to see this. You run to the mountains. I'm not going to get too deep into what that all means, but basically what has to happen is there has to be an Israel as a nation, because there has to be people in Judea to flee. That has happened, so we're good. But there also has to be some sort of temple that it says he's standing in the holy place. I guess you can say what that is for you, but he'll be standing in the holy place in Judea, and he'll do some sort of abomination of desolation. So basically, we're very close to having all the Jewish temple proceedings happen again. If you are not familiar, there is the Temple Institute, which they have all the priests, they have all their garments, they have stones to rebuild the temple because it has to be rebuilt in a certain way. They have a crown that they have made for their Messiah. They have everything they need to set everything up again. One other piece that I'll touch on just in finality is there is what's called the red heifer ceremony or sacrifice, meaning they need a pure red cow, a heifer who has no blemishes or anything, white hairs and stuff like that. It can only have so many white hairs. It's a whole thing, and I'll get into more of that in another video, but basically they need this cow to be sacrificed so that it can cleanse all of Israel, and they can then build their third temple. It's a whole thing, which I will get into later. But guess what? They, for the first time in thousands of years, have 5 candidates of these cows. They've never had these cows before, and basically they have them now, which, as I said, I'll get into more in another video. But this means that they are able to have this sacrifice to then build the temple. This has never happened before. This will be the 10th pure red heifer sacrificed on the Temple Mount or in that area ever in all of history. The 10th in all of history. And that's happening right now. the cow has to be a certain age, and I believe it'll come of age in 2024. So guys, this was amazing, right? 5 points why you cannot deny that everything's in place and we are ready to see these biblical events take place. It's now, we don't know exactly when, but we are told that we are supposed to be continually watching for Jesus so he doesn't come upon us like a thief. This is not supposed to be all bad news or anything like that. It's just supposed to inform you, prepare you, confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord. You'll be saved. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. As I said, I'm a mom of 4, and I would love if you feel so led, if you would like to bless this channel in any way that you see fit with prayer or good words or any sort of donation. I have a link in the description box and the pinned comments, and I am so grateful that you joined me here. So yeah, until next time, meet me here again under the palm. Love you guys. Bye.